Hey everybody, it's CJ Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, looking out of my window across the Red River, beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. We just had, I guess I was going to do this video, and then as I was going to do the video, we kept losing power, blinking on and off because, tornado warnings. For about 20 minutes, but then it stopped. But I kept like the lights kept flashing on and off. I hope if there was a tornado, I hope everybody's okay. And yeah, so I'm going to talk about just something called Topical Topics. I think I'll call this bit, and was kind of inspired by my reading the headlines and just joking and making comments about the headlines. What I call it, uh, headline, whatever, something, something, something. Just basically, busting on headlines in my news feeds or whatever. But this is kind of like different. It's like I would like uh, watch the news and then comment on things in the news or magazine shows or whatever, like 60 Minutes. That's what I watched tonight. And so the big thing in that was big. It was like their center section. It was about AI. I'm, I'm not, I think it's kind of neat, you know, but I don't really, I don't really see the whole like, Hollywood emotional feel kind of Terminator becoming so close to human that it experiences humanity, which is what everybody's kind of afraid of, or overthrows humanity, even if because programs can only do what we tell them to do. They only have the options to do what we give them. They only can, well, they really, we say learning, they computate. That's not the same as learning. Um, they can take a pattern and they can run with the pattern that we give it. That's the algorithm, or multiple algorithms. The only thing that really has advanced, and I'm not putting it down, um, has been a microchip or a processing chip by a company that they talked about on this. Um, it wasn't 2020; it was 60 Minutes. By the way, it was the show that I watched tonight, and they Nvidia or something like that. What I forget the name of it, but it was it's a processing chip so powerful that it seems that it can process more than one function at the same time instead of simultaneously. Well, you know, I had a computer that once had you know, more than one motherboard. Each one of those motherboards uh, was performing a function simultaneously. Of course, as it filtered in to the terminal, it could only be received one action at a time, but with great rapidity. So it seemed to be, um, multiprocessing or multitasking or whatever. So yeah, it's things they're already so fast that we're not going to know that now. So they are looking at ways to implement this to help us figure out things a little bit faster. So what happens is it's a great big computer, and what happens is like if you're trying to do like a large equation, it can cut out the arithmetic for you and kind of skip to it and do it instantly, and that's great. This it's wonderful. It means that the computation is going to be faster, and it's going to be more energy efficient because it does it faster. Uh, 3,000 times faster than current is what they're talking about, with about 1,000 times uh, more efficient. I don't know, or however it was, uh, 3,000 times the power and 1,000 times the efficiency. I don't whatever how they came up with it. I don't know. But they had some models that they were talking about. There was a humanoid looking robot that could walk around. I that that is not that is not artificial intelligence. That is robotics, and robotics perform limited tasks based on how they're engineered and constructed. I've been getting toys like that from, not currently, but remember when I was in the early 80s, I was getting toys like that from Radio Shack, a little robot that could walk, you know, or a dog that could walk and bark. That there was a robot. This is not, that did not impress me at all. And so the reporter, the guy doing the story, told the robot that he would like a healthy snack, and so instead of a bag of chips, the robot reached in and grabbed him an orange. Well, that's an algorithm, right? Healthy snack versus whatever. So the robot can look and assess, and we've got that. We can hold up to our phones or hold a picture up and say, what is this, and it can tell us where we can find a product to find or whatever. That's neat. That's new. That's a little bit of, that's but it can't do anything that we don't give it. That's what I'm saying. We haven't advanced to where computers have, um, emotions. They don't even have thoughts. The only thing that they do is, uh, click in succession like a loom, weaving fabric. That's basically essentially all this stuff is. It's, electric, and it sends out signals, uh, uh, in code, that can be picked up, especially like fiber optics, really, really fast fiber optics, in succession, short and long flashes, and absence of flashes, and everything. But it's not these devices, these robots. They're not thinking. Now we've had robots in factories going far back as, maybe the late 60s, going to the early, uh, really earlier than that. Can you imagine, what people must have been thinking and feeling when, what was that big thing that changed for the cotton gin, right? You know, um, what else? Farming. Uh, Large machines that you can, uh, ride over, that would, like, you know sow and seed and all that kind of good stuff. The agricultural equipment. You know, I don't know. The industrial age, the information age, is how we share information through the internet. But they're kind of using the information age in the fast way that data is shared and computated by machines that computate, but they only computate on the algorithms that we give them. Uh, and you know sharing in the parameters that we allow them to. And even if we gave them carte blanche to everything, if we put every bit of human experience, and said, have at it, learn whatever, it's an inanimate fucking object that has no emotion, no thought, no feeling, no want, no need, no desire, no awareness, no, like nothing. Not like, even if you pretended to give it you gave it a program, and to pretend to have like self-awareness, it would still not be aware. It would still be not alive. So we don't have to worry about artificial intelligence taking over humanity. That's it's nothing that I've seen what they were showing, uh, Nothing impressed me anything more than what I used to see in the 1980s as a kid from Radio Shack. And I'm just telling you, Radio Shack was a kick ass store. My big thing, though, the other thing I want to talk about is, you know, I wanted to maybe do the whole you know, headline thing where I was like scrolling up and down my headlines, but it's like everything's all about like DC movies or whatever upcoming. Because I guess I like click on a lot of that kind of stuff. So it was like, what? Um, I will say this Sky tablet that I'm using. Um, I wish it had like some fast computing power. It's basically probably got one of the slowest processors. It's like, oh my god, here am I having to wait all of like 3 seconds, and I don't like that. Here, like I'm gonna click on Google, and then yay, trending searches, whatever. Boring. Anyway, uh, yeah. But yeah, so DC, uh, DCU movies. But the thing is that there was the animated Tomorrowverse. Uh, that we get. They did DC's Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1, and just recently Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2, and I liked it. They're taking some liberties away from the source material, though. Um, because the Harbinger, her name was Lila. She was not Kara Zor-El. But, whatever. Um, I don't know if you guys are following that or not. You guys probably not big super geeks like I am. Um, anyway, yeah. We have like some flashy weather. I thought that'd be cool to check out of the window or whatever. There's some thunder. Do you remember that whole most of you guys maybe wouldn't unless you've seen it. It's kind of a classic film, Poltergeist, and the dad was like they were scared of the storm, and the dad was like, if you hear the thunder and then you count till you see the lightning, the distance, if it's growing, if you count fewer numbers, then the storm's getting closer, but if it's farther away, then whatever. So I was like, forever. That was kind of like, hey, we got information from a movie. And then Twister, that movie Twister. God, that I liked the movie. It was a great spectacle of a movie, but as accurate information, I don't know. I think whatever. I think no. No, no. But because of the parameters that they set for this area of the country they called Tornado Alley, everybody was like, oh, this is all Tornado Alley, and this is where most of the tornado. No, tornadoes happen anywhere there's a damn thunderstorm, you know. and if you're someplace where there's a thunderstorm, you're at a risk of a tornado. And thunderstorms happen everywhere, all over this country. So you don't get a special part of the country that's specially prone to tornadoes. Yeah, maybe if you're in some places where you don't have like tall buildings or things like that to help break up winds or whatever. I don't know, but like in Louisiana, we have we fewer and fewer each year. Some of the marshes and wetlands and everything like that to keep the swamps, basically, to help keep hurricane uh, damage away from populated areas. But, erosion, what are you going to do, right? So, yeah, we lose a lot of wetlands. But we lose the wetlands, but they also move in a little further each time they do that. So, yeah. So anyway, country music star angers fans who walks out of concert after he fails to play hits. Not very professional. There was this, people heard about this event that happened in Shreveport. When I came home from being away in the early 1990s, they were talking about this concert that happened, and it was Tanya Tucker and Glenn Campbell, and that they were doing a concert and they had gotten into a fight cocaine fueled fight or something on stage. And people would talk about it as if it just happened. It's like, no, that happened like something like that happened for years ago, and they were still talking about it. That's how something that happened in the mid to late '80s. People were talking about it in the early uh, 1990s, as if it happened like, oh, just last month. It's like, whatever. But anyways, who cares? Uh, yeah, you know, artists are sentimental. If I were doing a performance, and it just seemed to me that everybody wanted me to not do the performance, I would abide by that and not do the performance. It does not mean that you wouldn't get your money back. Not from me. Like, it's kind of like going to a doctor's appointment and you don't like the result that the doctor gives you. You don't get to like leave throughout half of that consultation and be like, oh well, I'm not going to pay. That's not, no, you still owe that. They're still going to collect from you or your insurance company or something. So, and uh, for the most part, yeah, that's how business works. Unless there's a preset thing. Now, if you are maybe at a restaurant and they just, it's not. I don't think not liking the food at a restaurant, I don't think that's enough reason to send the food back or refuse payment or something like that. But if they actually make the food completely wrong, then like if they screw it up like from what it's supposed to be, then it's one thing to be like, we either need to remake this or exchange it for something else or something like that, at cost, whatever. Um, but just getting something and not particularly, just nothing's wrong with the dish. It's just I don't like it. That's not enough of a reason to, uh, you know, not be of service. So I don't know. So what have I covered? Oh, storms. We had tornadoes, but everybody gets tornadoes. AI. We're probably going to be okay with the AI. I'm excited to know what's going to happen with, because I remember David Cornsmith, who's going to be the next Superman. I remember seeing him in The Politician, that very first episode of The Politician. It's like, dude, that dude looks like Superman, like hair naturally. He didn't have to, he looked more like Superman than Henry Cavill. And I know they resemble each other a little bit, but Henry Cavill doesn't have that natural David Corns sweat. Like he doesn't have the natural swoosh, the iconic Superman curl, you know. So I'm excited for that. I think actually, to be honest with you, I wasn't a big fan of the Henry Cavill casting of Superman in Man of Steel, and I didn't particularly like the slightly darker take on it. Um, by the time Batman versus Superman came along, which was still a dark movie for the Ben Affleck doing a kind of like a darker version of Batman, but Superman, uh, uh, Clark, as play his version of the character had lightened up and had found a little bit of hope, even though he had a challenge, you know, and like he couldn't do right for wrong. Do I save the world, uh, or if I don't save the world, then whatever. It's like he was just like I can't. His thing was like, okay, I can't please these people. So it's just kind of like whatever. Um, I think it would have been nice to be able to see the completion of the Zack Snyder movies. But also, and we would have. I really think that we would have. But we did have COVID, where pretty much everything was shut down for a year, and in some cases, 2 years. Because 2000, like it was the end of 19. Well, I was 19. Boy, am I really going back. 2019, when we started getting notifications in our, the slowly trickle of, look what's happening in China. There's something over in China. And then within a few months, it was like, okay, yeah, it's real. So, so from uh, 2019 to uh, really going into, yeah, things didn't really kind of get back to normal. Uh, Actually, the economy is still rebounding from that. Um, like it's never going to go back to pre-COVID. But I will say this, and this is a non-political statement, a pure fact. There's inflation just about every year. The rate of inflation, this the amount of inflation within the year has definitely decreased in the last few years. So that is good. But no, there's always inflation. There will always be inflation. There always has been inflation. There are some times when it's been so minute. Uh, there's always inflation, but the rate of inflation, how we calculate COLA, cost of living adjustments, uh, uh, for government employees and Social Security recipients and things of the like. It does it. It's not a matter of whether there's inflation or not. It's the amount of inflation, and the the less inflation, or the less the rate of that inflation. Uh, you know um, the you know that is how they that's how they compute. Yeah, so if the rate of inflation, in which the rate of inflation has decreased, the amount or increased the amount of it, if it is equal to or less than the previous year, then there's no cost of living adjustment. But if it's slightly higher, then there's a slight increase, and it averages from 2 to 3, that I've noticed. And then uh, uh, during the oh yeah, I think, and this is not a political thing. I just think that with Trump, I think a lot of people, when he first took office, were very scared of what the economy was going to do, and so there was a troubling uh, rate of increase of inflation those first couple of years. And so yeah, it was higher than average. I don't necessarily know if that was due to his politics or if that was due to the public's response to his politics. Because yeah, it was bad. But by the time 2019 came along, and that last year, COVID, there wasn't. I mean, nobody uh, could have. When something catastrophic goes over the world, and the world pretty much shuts down. If we didn't shut down in this country, the rest of the world was shutting down. Tell you that. Staying home and just all that. So um, would just be without getting too political. I think we even had Donald Trump talking about how he consulted with Biden, because he was in the administration with Obama, and they did prevent a SARS uh, outbreak, and then you know, like they handled it, and they really did. But yeah, and they had contingencies. So in that talking, when you have like political opponents uh, really coming together, then it's a serious thing. So yeah, but Yeah, that was kind of cool. I hope we don't have anything like that for a long time. Although I will say, at my age, I've been through a lot of, oh my God, the world's going to end now. you know, like that's happened a few times, like this is the end. This is the Y2K is over with. That's basically no, we're just going to lose our calculators, whatever. We'll go to the dark ages for I don't know for a few weeks until we build some new stuff. Um, it'd be like changing out a light bulb. It'll be expensive light bulbs. Computers are expensive calculators. Yeah, uh, but yeah, I'm just rambling. Why am I rambling? I don't know. uh, I just want to have fun. I just wanted to like have some random thoughts. I did have fun. Went to the gym today. I'm glad I did because with this weather, I don't know that I'll be going for the next couple of days. But because it was raining, no. I brought my uh, I brought my cushions inside. I've got my candles ready in case we do lose power. But I like dim lighting, so that's kind of cool. I'm typically a nocturnal kind of creature. You guys be safe in this weather. I hope that you have a, a good season, uh, and that you stay dry, and you know, and yeah, may may you uh, may you always have the higher ground. Love and light, peace. Good night.